can't let you get close. Welcome to another edition of the Willie Bragg Show. I'm your host, Willie Bragg. Good morning to you all. I guess this is how it's going to be from now on until I can get a steady stream schedule. Whenever I get the energy and the momentum, I'm just going to go and live stream. I'm sorry, I want a regular schedule. I really do. Work has been killing me. It's been killing me, literally. I want to do a live stream Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays. I intend to do a Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday live stream. You're going to see me try to do one every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. But it's not guaranteed to happen at this point because I'm being killed by work. So there's that explanation there. And after I'm done with this particular one, I may do one that I have scheduled at 6 a.m. I may screech it over and start doing it following after this video commentary today. So there's that. And I did this one tonight, kind of in a hurry. I started this one when I woke up this afternoon. This evening I went to Denny's, had dinner, and basically got everything ready for this commentary. So here I am. I took a quick nap. I was supposed to be at 1:15, but I snoozed a little longer than I should have. So here I am. So quick explanation out of the way and all of that. So we have here on the chat line, I owe Willie Bragg an apology. I may not be able to stay late enough to watch this stream, but I'll try. Willie Bragg, please do this, Samantha. I apologize on my behalf. Let's see. I made it, Willie Bragg show. Where the heck are you? Still working? Yeah, what I just said. And my apologies once again. Okay, let's see here. Overslept. Wait till Uncle Warren. Wait till I tell Uncle Warren about this, Willie. Yep. Yeah, I'm sure he'll have something to say about it. Let's see. This better be good. I'm missing a marathon of the man from Atlantis for this. I will try to do my best. Say extra bull. I fish orange white eyes. The sea. DM the Dragon Master. Let's see here. This better be good. I'm also missing a very special episode of Chico and the Man. Oh, I haven't seen Chico and the Man in a long time. Sort of like a Chicano Mexican American version of Sanford and Son in many ways. Which Sanford and Son comes from a British TV series called Steptoe and Son. Happy Sundays, everyone, says Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Let's see. I've seen Petticoat Junction. Let's see here. This better be good because it's a crossover episode. Beretta and the Misfits of Science for this. I remember Beretta with Robert Blake in his famous double countdown. Yes, I am infamous for that double countdown. So, and Miguel, how the hell are you? All right. And so let's get started. The Hill. Y'all familiar with The Hill? It was originally Crystal Ball and Saga and Gente. Now, the people who are doing Breaking Points and all of that. And, The Hill's basically a right-leaning internet program. And it's sort of like a polite version of the bullshit you hear from Fox News. It's still a lot of cringy right-wing stuff, but it's not as hateful as what you hear from Newsmax or One American News Network or Fox News and all that. But, and they do give a fair hearing to the left. So I will go and tip off my hat to The Hill because they do not smear the left in a way that right-wing media and even shit-lived centrist media like MSNBC and CNN and others who are purportedly liberal or progressive tend to do when push comes to shove. So there is that. And y'all remember when Sagar and Crystal left Rising a few years ago? They had a bunch of other folks that kind of filled in, and the show was pretty much not going anywhere. And I think that they kind of hit a sweet spot when Briahna Joy Gray and Robby Soave ended up being the co-hosts. Now, I originally had nothing against Robby Soave. I mean, he was, he's right-leaning, but he had a libertarian bent. I'm kind of lenient on libertarians. I hate their economics, but there's enough overlap. Being a leftist, being a socialist that I am, there are some core beliefs that I do have that overlaps that with the libertarians. I'm not a libertarian by any means of the stretch of the by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, I've always had deep respect for Ron Paul. I disagree with his economics passionately. There's a few economic issues that I disagree with. So there's also that. Thomas Massey of Kentucky, Congressman Thomas Massey, he's been good on things like being anti-war, and he's been good on things like against stop police legislations that just recently passed, like the Anti-Semitism Awareness Act. Now, granted, this doesn't mean that I think anti-Semitism is cool. It's, do you need a law? Do you need a law saying that if you hurt Israel feelings, you ought to be smeared as an anti-Semite and be punished? That's what it's all about. And Thomas Massey, I believe, was like a handful of Republicans, along with some. It was like 21 Republicans, 70 Democrats that voted against that awful legislation. And fuck that law, by the way. Fuck the Anti-Semitism Awareness Act. There's no need for it. Is Thought Police in 1984 by George Orwell was supposed to be a novel warning us. It was not supposed to be an instruction manual. But it became an instruction manual for the West. And now we're living 1984. But anyway, getting back to the Rising. Several times in the last several months, Robby Soave lost his temper with Briahna Joy Gray. And for some reason, Briahna Joy Gray brings out the worst among the pseudo-left, people like the Shank Ugerts of the world, and people like that have attacked her. There is a centrist corporate Democrat amateur influencer on Twitter. She calls herself the Great Shantizi, who hates Briahna Joy Gray, and she shits on the left all the time. And she always attacks. She has me blocked on Twitter 2 years ago because I went toe to toe with that Karen on that issue. And now she's being attacked by Robby Soave. And I'm going to play you the video, and I will comment on it accordingly. Give me a moment here, and we will see for ourselves. So give me a couple seconds here, and we will nip this in the bud. Okay. All right. Let's see. All right. Let me make sure we get a volume out of this thing. Okay. Here we go. Brace yourself for this.
Actually trying to get their votes.
You heard Joe Biden. He put ads out saying Nikki Haley voters come to me. Has he put an ad out saying
policies that they support? The Democratic Party has moved
his border
far
policy?
to the left.
His border policy?
Overall, if you go on most issues, maybe not the border. If you go on most issues, the Democratic Party
has
moved way more
of policy. In what way? It's been worse on unions.
Look at charts.
On what cultural policy? It's not policy. That's just vibes. Oh, you hang a rainbow flag out outside the White House. What's that actually doing for poor and working class gay
Green New Deal, etc.
What? Where's there a Green New Deal? Did Joe Biden pass a Green New Deal?
They all talk in support of it.
Where? When? When did they vote in support of it? When did they actually act and push it? When did you see a single Biden ad talking about how important it is for him to pass a Green New Deal? Never, none.
He talked about the Green New Deal all the time.
Joe Biden, when he was campaigning, the Joe Biden agenda has been the Joe Manchin agenda, and they're frankly proud. Okay,
Republicans can take comfort in that the Democrats don't accomplish all of the lofty societal transformations that they promised.
Lofty societal transformations. An overwhelming majority of Americans want there to be a wealth tax. This is not a partisan issue. The overwhelming majority of Americans want there to be universal health care. This is not a fringe leftist issue. I just did a radar running down
issue.
when 70% of Americans
mass
support
confiscation
something,
of wealth from other people is
I'm not doing this with you. When 70%
I don't want to do it. More Rising after this. Goodbye. Go.
When 70% of Americans support a policy, it's not fringe. And you can't just sit there and say it's fringe because you personally don't like it, Robby. 70% of Americans support the policy. So my point is this.
70% of Americans
Joe
support what?
Biden, universal health care.
That, depending on ask, I'm sure most Americans think that health care should be provided to people. How we actually pay for that and what the policy. Ask them if how much of them want Obamacare or socialized medicine, then they get
We've been
very little
talking
support.
about billions of dollars going out the door for Israel for weeks. It's something that you don't agree with, but at no point did you say, how can we pay for that? Not once.
What do you? I don't.
We've been talking about, but you haven't questioned
Israel.
how we're going to pay for it. You say we shouldn't pay for it, but there's an expectation that when it comes to military spending, of course we can pay for it. The second
I don't think we can pay for it. No, we're running up. No, we cannot afford to do the military spending we're doing.
About delivering for the health and welfare of the American people. That phrase comes up again.
That's not true at all. I don't
out of
think
nowhere.
We can afford, that's just absolutely misrepresenting my position. I do not think we can afford the military spending we're doing at all.
I would bet every dollar in my bank account that you haven't said, how are we going to pay for that one time in a year?
How are we going to pay for it? We can't pay for it, and we should. I don't want to raise taxes to pay for the military spending.
You haven't said, how are we going to pay for it? Not a single time.
I mean, you're right. I've been preoccupied with, yes, we should not pay for it, but we also can't afford to do it. And
how about
the military
you
is running up our
we
deficit.
should not pay for Medicare for all. Stick with that then. Sit here and stand by the notion that you think that we should not pay for Medicare for all. Because most Americans, America, the country, our government should not pay for Medicare for all. That seems to be your stance as you framed it with respect to a bunch of other expenditures.
Right.
But
I don't want the massive bloat that we have in our education and health system and other to impact whether people can get care, like in other countries that have those arrangements where people wait in lines for care for weeks and months and years. In fact, coming to America to get the care they can't get in Canada. The system you profess.
Yes, I wish we had healthcare like Canada. I wish we had healthcare like Israel.
Canadians wish they had healthcare like America. But
I wish you had healthcare like Israel, where people don't have to die in the street or have to get extremely expensive emergency care that average Americans have to pay for anyway because they can't get preventative treatment. I think that we're the richest country in the history of the world, and there's a relationship between the visceral pushback that you get when you start bringing up Medicare for all and a wealth tax, and how popular they are, and how much
cost the American government more than the military, but the military is also bankrupting us. I agree, and I would lop it in half overnight. But you can't just end foreign military spending or even domestic military spending would not bring our budget in line. It's the entitlement system that is causing us ruinous debt that we will pass on to our children and grandchildren.
And how much goes into preventing those perspectives from being reflected on a program like The View, and where someone like Charlamagne Lemaine comes on and says, well, God forbid my vote be sought because I want these policies. Even if you don't, the point is that overwhelming majorities of Americans want things that the Democratic Party and the Republican Party aren't willing to offer them. And if citizens continue to stand by their morals and their values the way that Charlamagne is sort of hinting at here and say, these are the conditions of my vote, we would perhaps see very different political priorities starting to emerge during a campaign season instead of the same old that is causing all of the disaffected voters that we cover routinely on this show.
Beautifully done by Briahna Joy Gray. And you know, just I mean, yeah, there's always a bias. I know. I've always rooted for Briahna Joy Gray. I mean, I know. And since 2019, when I first heard of her, working for Bernie Sanders as the National Press Secretary, and everything I've been hearing about her since the time she's worked for Bernie Sanders as the press secretary, I've been loving every second of the work she's done, just about. I'm sure there's probably an issue here and there I could find myself disagreeing with her on. But you know, and I'm sure because nobody's going to agree with anybody on 100% of the issues. But as far as somebody in mainstream media or nearly mainstream media like Briahna Joy Gray, she's been a fighter very consistently. She's very independent. She's not attached to the two-party system. And she always fights for the left. And when she was working for Bernie Sanders, while everybody else was trying to make him a goddamn generic Democrat, she was basically saying, no, Bernie, your winning formula is to be the fiery independent you used to be. And she was telling him, oh, don't just concede to Joe Biden. You get as much, extract as much concessions as you can out of Joe Biden before you go around endorsing. She didn't want him to endorse him really to begin with. And she didn't vote for Joe Biden, by the way, in 2016, and she didn't vote for him in 2020. And I don't, and she's sure as hell not going to vote for him in 2024. I suspect she's probably going, and I'm not speaking on her behalf. I'm just sort of suspect I know she was supporting Marianne Williamson in the primaries, but I think that her plan was to vote for Cornel West. But I think at this point, she'll probably end up voting for Jill Stein. Is my guess. That is my guess. And if I'm wrong, I stand corrected. But that is my guess. However, having all this said, she gets attacked by the pseudo left. Cenk Uygur and Bosch and all of these folks try to say that she's some kind of she runs cover for fascist movements. Trying to. I mean, Bosch basically called her a white nationalist, if you can believe that, which pissed me off about a year and a half ago. It was over the Mar-a-Lago thing, and actually I agree with Briahna Joy Gray about the raid in Mar-a-Lago. Doesn't mean you like Trump. It means I agree with her argument about going after Trump using the FBI, that same FBI that went after the Black Panthers, that went after socialists and communists and other kinds of radicals back in the day. And you got liberals cheerleading an institution that still goes after leftists. Look what they did with the leader of the African People's Socialist Party. They went after him as well recently. I cannot think of the name of that man right now. They went and arrested him. So, no, I have no love for Donald Trump, but I'm thinking Donald Trump, they're going after Donald Trump, who's committed less crime than George W. Bush, who committed less crime than Lindsey Graham, who committed less crime than John Bolton. And let's be fair, who committed less crime than Hillary Clinton. Okay? I'm not being a partisan hack here. But, so we're going to go cheerlead the FBI. I mean, this is the same Democratic Party that made peace with George W. Bush, that faulted those who supported Ralph Nader in 2000. Now they're buddies with George W. Bush, and they still hate Ralph Nader. She was absolutely right about how the Democratic Party just keep tiptoeing to the right. And for some reason, Robby Soave said that they keep going further and further left. Now, his anger, that the way he snapped at her, again, just kind of like, why did he snap at her? It's obvious his ass is owned. I mean, he's a mental midget. His ass was owned. When it comes to this sort of thing, we need a wealth tax. We need universal health care. We need all these things that the Democrats pretend to be for, and so much more. And the Democrats pretend to, it's a Joe Manchin agenda, just like she said. And, and it's how can we pay for it bullshit and all of this. It's funny because how can we pay for this? A lot of conservatives who says that are fine with foreign aid going to Israel. Israel, although we're mad at what they're doing in Gaza, and we're mad at what they're doing in Rafah, let's just for a second talk about domestically inside Israel, their healthcare system. They do have a universal healthcare system. We don't. We pay for their healthcare system. We paid for the healthcare system of Iraq when we invaded Iraq in 2003. We paid for a universal healthcare system in Afghanistan when we invaded Afghanistan. For some reason, we can't afford it, but we can fund a healthcare system in Israel. We can fund a healthcare system in Iraq. We can fund a healthcare system in Afghanistan, and pretty much any country around the world. We can fund a healthcare system, but heavens forbid we go and fund a healthcare system for the American people. That's where I have a problem with. And so she's right to be calling that out. And all of that. And we need to end when it comes to Israel, we need to make that a condition to Netanyahu. Motherfucker, you want money? You better stop with the genocide right now. stopping the genocide. But it's really gone past that. Honestly, I'm a fan of the International Criminal Court right now because I want that motherfucker arrested. I want to see him arrested so damn bad. But anyway, suffice to say, that's another issue and all of that. And that's probably going to be the topic of my next video, which would be played a little earlier than 6 that I have it planned for this morning. So, yeah, very unprofessional. And I think that Robby Soave owes her an apology right now for his behavior toward her. What the fuck, Robby? What the fuck? You know? Yeah, that's just ridiculous. That is ridiculous. So anyway, let's see. I see Catherine and McCloskey joined us here. How are you doing today? I'm doing good. All right. Let's see here. All right. Let's see. All right. Radical problems require a radical solution. You're so correct, Miguel. And wait, you know what? Actually, you are correct. But is universal health care really all that radical? Only in America would something like that be considered radical. Even the center right in the West that have universal health care are not trying to dismantle their healthcare system. For starters, it would be political suicide if they did. So there is that. They may tweak around it and may cut back on it, and it will take a center-left government to come back and refund it, or have put back in its proper funding. It depends on some center-right governments are worse than others. Some of them are not as shitty, I guess. It just depends on the country, it just depends on the country, for example. But, as I said, that's not a radical solution. But in America, the country's been allowed to go so far to the right. I have said this, that people are so worried about Project 25, and it is something to worry about. If there's one thing to worry about with a Trump presidency, is the actual implementation of the fully of Project 25 as an agenda, into actual policy. But I'm going to tell y'all like it is. Regardless of the parties, regardless of Democrats and Republicans in Congress or the White House, since the days of Ronald Reagan, we've been seeing Project 25 on training wheels. We're living Project 25 on training wheels. America is Project 25 on training wheels. So I just wanted to go and say that too. Let's see here. We got fund the healthcare system in Iraq and Afghanistan. That sounds like fake news. No, we funded their healthcare system. When we bombed them to pieces, then we funded their healthcare system. So that's what happened here. I'm curious what let's see. I want to see BJG in a Wonder Woman outfit mowing down baddies with Jewish space lasers. Warren, I love it when you play that on your soundboard on any of your live streams, whether it's on the Secret Show or whatever. You're live streaming when AOC talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene's Jewish space lasers. It's so cute hearing her voice saying Jewish space lasers. It's like that cracks me up every time. So let's see here. Let's see. What do you say that we go to the Waffle House after Willie wraps up this stream? I went to Denny's earlier. Sometimes I go to the Waffle House at night. So I just was in the mood for Denny's right now. Yeah, I sometimes I get in the mood. I'm good with either one. So Denny's is kind of like my hideout when I'm misbehaving. Sunday's my cheat day. I lost 17 pounds in the last 3 weeks. So you can't tell right now, but I have lost some weight. So I'm trying to get my weight down. Doctor's appointment on July 25th. Wish me luck, folks. Wish me luck. I'm not doing it to impress the doctor. I'm doing it for my own self-improvement. So I'm on a plan. It seems to be working. I feel better. And I'm hoping that by the end of the summer, you'll be seeing a whole new Willie Bragg here. There was a time I was skinny. I promise you that. There was a time I was fatter too. I promise you that too. So let's see here. All right, we got. I don't remember any voting in Congress to send millions to Iraq or Afghanistan. They do anyway. They have these spending bills. It's just we just call it a Tuesday. That's all we do. Oh yeah, I want some grits. Let's see, from Waffle House. I go with. Actually, their cheeseburgers are pretty good. Their Angus cheeseburgers are the bomb. Sorry for any vegetarians out there that are listening. Miguel is always correct. Teacher's pet. Let's see here. We have yes. So anyhow, let's see. All right. Let's see. 17 pounds in 3 weeks. Yes, it is kind of like my office. You're right, Warren. It is 17 pounds in 3 weeks. What's the secret? I'll tell you what the secret is, Miguel. Every other night while I'm working, I'll have stir-fried vegetables for dinner. Brown rice and stir-fried vegetables. I'll have a light breakfast, whatever it is, maybe some oatmeal or something like that, just something light, and I'll go try to sleep it away during the day, so I don't have to worry about food. And I'm on an appetite suppressant, and it curbs the hunger. When I'm off, I will go and have something normal to eat. Right now I'm off on Tuesday nights and Sunday night, excuse me. So I eat normally during those days, and there's one day I just have a low-calorie TV dinner. So that's basically my secret right there. I've actually just started eating less, and I'm eating out less, and so I'm actually got a little more money in my wallet because of it, which is also a good thing. And I've eliminated sweets out of my diet. Except on Sundays. Sundays I am going to have me that cake or that ice cream or whatever. So I will, you see me eating ice cream, I'll look as ridiculous as Joe Biden slopping away on ice cream. So let's see. All right, let's see. So yeah, and as I said, I'm just trying to do better. So let's see. Yeah, I overslept because as I said, I worked last night, Saturday night, turned into Sunday, and so I was off. So I when I'm off, I just sleep on and off all day long. So so I'm up and kind of semi-awake, I guess you could say. Let's see, we have to find your caloric sweet spot too. Yeah, there's this thing called moderation, and that's what you have to strive for, and that's what I try to strive for. So there is that and everything. So yeah, I'm just trying to do the best I can and everything, and all of that. So but getting back to the point I was making about Briahna Joy Gray, she gets attacked quite a bit. And I know I'm sounding like I'm white knighting her and all that, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I do have kind of a crush on Briahna Joy Gray. You can understand why, but I just don't like to see her getting attacked. She seems like a nice person, and she's very charming. She went to Harvard. She's a lawyer. I mean, she's very intelligent. I mean, you could just tell when she's ready to destroy her opponent in these debates. I mean, I could just look at expressions. She's ready to just tear them apart, and usually like 99.9% of the time, I'm like, damn, she got him. She got him. I was like she showed no mercy. So that's part of that there. I've always liked her. And I hate the fact that people been attacking her, whether it's Shank Ugert or Bosch, or I've heard Anna Kasparian making some little nasty little comments to her every now and then. I mean, it just pisses me off, and then, some of the comments just horrible. So, but anyway, so let me see what Warren says here. Let's see. Briahna Joy Gray makes Willie dress up as Boss Hog and chase her around and they see dudes. Oh God. I'm not as fat as JD Hogg from the Dukes of Hazzard. Yeehaw! Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Actually, that is a guilty pleasure of mine, the Dukes of Hazzard. The first season, there was a scene from the first season where Bo Duke went up to Daisy at the Boar's Nest, the bar, and he was hugging her. He said, "Daisy, if you were my cousin, I'd marry you." And she responded, "Nobody in our family, never saw anybody in our family before." I'm like, oh God, that is so wrong. That is so damn wrong. Oh my gosh. Yeah. They kind of toned down the adult humor after the first season, and the rest of the rest of the series was kind of lame. But the first season had a little bit of balls to it back then. I would recommend to anybody watching if they've never seen the original series to watch the first season, but don't bother with the rest of the series. That's what I got to say. So, so anyway, what I'm going to do, let's see. I think that they have insinuated that a few times on the show. Yeah, that's what's so funny about the show. They insinuated that. So, as a Southerner, I have to laugh at that. So, and it takes place in Georgia, probably in Marjorie Taylor Greene's congressional district. Jimmy Carter wouldn't approve, though, I'm sure. He's going to be 100 years old in October. God bless him, so that's a good thing. He's going to be 100 years old. But all right. Well, listen, folks. Yeah, I'm gonna do another video. Hopefully in the next 30 minutes or so. So more or less. If you let's see. Yeah. If you like what you heard, please press like and comment. Comment any way you disagree with what I have to say. Feel free to share the contents on this channel. As a First Amendment absolutist, it's my duty to inform you, the create your own platform and utilize it, because we are, in fact, the muckbreakers of our time. Also, remember to reject corporate media and subscribe to this channel, the Willie Bragg Show. By doing so, you're not just helping the Willie Bragg Show, you're helping a lot of independent media, because I urge you to help the others too as well. So, and what I'm thinking about doing is I'm probably going to do a show that's going to be dedicated to all of the independent media, and just at some point, I may do it with a panel of people. I'm not sure how I'll exactly do that yet, but I have something kind of in the works right now. So, but anyway, Remember, free Palestine, free Julian Assange, free healthcare for all, and of course, free speech. Y'all take care. I'll see y'all in a little bit. Next video. Take care.